So thanks everyone for jumping on the Wednesday session of the AI Lunch and Learn. Today we're going to kind of pick up where we were yesterday. We were just finishing up under business formation with the big dream generator, and we were creating and filling in these 13 questions where we walked through and answered them all. And from the answers, it generated this particular document here called a business brief, which is kind of a summary of your industry, your target audience, the core problems your particular tool is going to solve, the transformation for the audience, and so on and so forth. What's the biggest pain points you're going to solve? What are the outcomes they're going to see after they use your product or solution? It does a great job of taking what's in your head and putting it down on paper. You can think about these are all the things that you need to think about, including, of course, a business name. What is your marketing strategy? Any central messages that you want to share? And so these are the things you're going to use to develop the actual content. So if I grab this, I can highlight it all and copy it into another document. I always suggest that you create a Word document or any editor. You can have Google or Apple Word document editors. And the reason why is you kind of want to put all of these things as you develop them into one place. And it just makes it easier to edit later. It also makes it easier to go back to it. So you don't have to go to a variety of apps. You can just go to one app, grab it, and it's there. Just a kind of a pro tip. Let me do this just to get rid of the table formatting. I always paste it special and then match formatting. That way it takes out the table formatting that the HTML generates when it does that. So here you can kind of see the document laid out very simply. And so from here, you can see the key points. You can put in the different aspects of this particular business brief and go from there. So now that we have this, we can start thinking about the next logical step. So we might want to create a logo. So we might go down here to the content creator. If we have a business name, we could put that name into the logo maker. Create a solid network results of organic growth once now utilizing AI and current technology. It allows entrepreneurs to achieve exponential growth, learn faster, and reduce the time it takes to succeed. So that's kind of the big dream idea. So that's not bad. And then you have some names of the types of things of what it is. You can put in your target problem that you're solving. So you can feed any of these things into the AI tool and have it help you feed the rest of it. So let's say we wanted to create our perfect avatar from this or target audience. So we kind of defined it right here. So if I went back into the AI sales coach, created a new chat, say something like, you are a world-class product manager. I want you to help me create the perfect avatar for my business. I want you to give me details such as their name, their age, demographics, all the information that is important for me to build a perfect customer for me to target with my marketing. Here is my business brief. So you can do this exercise very simply. And so now we're using multiple tools to figure out who we want to target. So it gives you the information about that avatar based on the business brief that I just fed it. And so we're kind of continuing where we left off yesterday. So it's pretty good. It gives me Alex Parker, age range, entrepreneur in the tech startup space, possible incomes, education, family status, values innovation and collaboration, pain points, finding effective platforms for networking and audience building. So it's taking this directly from the business brief that we did yesterday. Hopes and aspirations are very important. Behavioral insights, current state, challenges, relationship, emotional state, daily wins, and so on. So you have this document that it created. It just created your perfect avatar. The next thing you want to do is build on that and get the description of that avatar from its worst day to its best day. Now, this is a repeat of an exercise that I showed you before, but the reason why is now I'm going to have it create that emotional journal entry so we can flesh it out a little bit. And then we're going to use the pain points that it creates and highlights in some of the other tools. So I'll show you what I mean in just a second. So let's get that emotional journal entry out the way. I want you to create a 300 word emotional journal for Alex on his worst day. Be fully descriptive and give me all of the emotions that Alex is feeling. Today feels like an insurmountable challenge, each hour more disheartening than the last. So, the goal is to get that definition of Alex on his worst day so that we can find things that we're going to use in our actual marketing, in our ads, and things like that. So I woke up brimming with plans to tackle my to-do list, was soon faced with a cascade of urgent issues. And so the incessant ping of my phone was relentless, reminding me of all the things I have on my plate. How did I let this business get so out of control? And so this is just all of the things that are negative. Now I want you to create a 300 word emotional journal for Alex on a fantastic, great day after he has used our services for business consulting and has successfully grown his business over 7 to 10 days, as promised above. So, what we're doing is again, worst day, best day based on the use of the service. It's typing it out. And again, I'm just doing 300 words. You can make it however long you need to make it. A triumphant day for Alex Parker. Today, everything fell into place. It's remarkable how much has changed in such a short period since embracing the strategies from the big dream. Now, this is obviously because I didn't retitle it with the particular name of the business. As I brewed my coffee, I reflected in a newfound clarity, which is one of the C words if you happen to join the lesson yesterday that Ramona was speaking about in her success stories. So again, you have the pain points and then you have the feeling that the user is going to have once they go through Ramona's teaching and business consulting. So I found profound satisfaction as I finalized plans on the virtual network event, a space that bridges my business with myriad others. So in other words, filling in what happens afterward. There's another C word, conversations. So it's getting everything and filling it in, hopeful and confident. And that's the third in Ramona's lesson. So we'll grab all of this here and make sure I get it all. And we'll get the prompt as well. And I'll share that for you and put it right into this Word doc here that I'm building out. No matter where you are in your stages of your business, it's great to refresh these things and kind of build it out. So now that I have a bad day, I have a good day, and so we're building up this kind of profile on our friend here. Now, obviously, Ramona already has a name for her business, but you can now go into the tool and have it write a more complete business profile now that it knows a little bit about your avatar and your target customer. You can give it a prompt where it gets into more detail. And by the way, the lesson that we had before covered a lot of this. So I'm not going to go through each step in complete detail. So go back and watch the previous one on the interview method, and that'll kind of fill in some of the gaps. So I'm kind of speeding this up a bit. You are a world-class product and marketing manager. I want you to take the above business brief and the avatar that we just created and put together a much more detailed business product brief. And I want to include possible product names. I want to include a marketing schedule and all of the elements I need to later build a business plan. So again, not a very detailed prompt, but it'll get the key elements that I want to get into this next step. I wanted to start thinking about it from a product point of view. So first we did the business brief, which was getting an understanding of the business. Next, I wanted to identify the target customer, their pains and problems. Now I want to start working on the marketing aspects and the thought processes behind that where we want to go. So here we are here. So now we're talking about we have the target audience, we've got the core problem, the purpose, right? We're going into what's the transformation. We're getting into the unique selling proposition, what makes the business unique. It gave us again some more product names. We've got some channels that we're going to target for the marketing. What's interesting is this is one of the things that Ramona will help you with. And so the ideas of how you do this networking is all part of her teachings. And so we'll have her chime in on some of that. Some budget considerations, measuring success, risk, and contingencies, and so on and so forth. So from here, we might want to take the product names are okay, connection catalyst, a little corny. You can invite to the table anybody to give you ideas for naming conventions for your products and your business names. So there's no limit to who you can call to the table. So let's say, for example, give me 5 product names in the style of Dan Kennedy. So last night I did a AI webinar, and one of the questions someone asked is, "Who's Dan Kennedy?" He just happens to be one of those famous marketers from days gone by, and it's just a name that stays in my head because his first name is Dan, mine is Danny, so it's easy for me to remember. So let's see, Profit Pinnacle Pathway, Empire Elevation Express. I like Empire Elevation. Revenue Revolution, Network Navigator Nexus. It likes Navigator. You'll find that whenever you ask AI for names, a lot of times it'll use the word Navigator. Let's see what we get. Give me 5 more names in the style of Gillian Perkins. Let's see if the AI knows whose that is. She's a YouTuber. I just happen to like the style of how she writes. So let's see what happens. Clarity Compass. Business Accelerator, Connect and Grow Guidebook, Visionary. So what's happening is the names don't really mean anything. So what I would normally do at this stage is I would interview the entrepreneur and get more out of who they are, and then we can feed that into the AI so it makes it more personal. So I use this as an example the other day where Annette, we were going back and forth on her t-shirt company names, and she had a biblical name, and that's part of her business philosophy. She wanted it to be a spiritual name. And so we asked the AI, we went into this session here and we asked it to give us a better name, and it came up with the name Graceful Threads, which covers the grace part of the spiritual journey. And then Threads, of course, ties it together for a t-shirt company. So that's an example of by feeding the AI more information about you and your personality, you'll get better names. And you can keep doing this exercise forever. Empire Elevation, Revenue, Profit Pinnacle. That's interesting. Entrepreneurial Excellence. That's boring. So far these names are really not making me Connect and Grow Guidebook. That's the name of a product. visionary growth, success journey journal. That is very funny. That's like really very, very literal. So that just happens to be where it is. So what we'll do is we will reach and rise consulting. I'll use that one for now. So what we can do is we have a name, we have a product description. Actually, let me copy this into the Word document using some of the names that it came in Reach and Rise Consulting. We'll use that one for now. You can then go into the content creator and you can go to the logo maker. You can, this is, oh, speaking of graceful threads, I think I might have shown this yesterday. This is one of the logos that it came up with that Annette particularly liked. And so that's one, we was just made up the phone number, it's not real. But we were creating a business card from the logo that it created. And so you can see it started as this, which we thought was pretty nice. And then you can make it into a business card and kind of go from there just by editing the image that you have. So let's go here. We're going to give it this, which is Reach and Rise Consulting. And then we can grab from the Word doc. This is why I said it's nice to use the Word doc so that you can then go back to it and grab the text and things that you've been creating. So you don't have to go back to the previous app. You can just grab it from here. What's interesting about these types of tools, it's a step-by-step process, and I'm skipping some steps that would expand on the purpose of it. Empower entrepreneurs. So we're going to grab this here. I'm just going to use that as part of the short description of the business. You can tell it, I want to abstract, what type, I want a monogram. So for example, I believe when we started with this, it was a monogram, or you can just tell it to pick for me. You can put in the colors that you want to use that you like, and then you can just tell it to create a logo. And so it'll go off. For now, I'm just kind of letting it do its own thing, let it pick its own colors and things like that. So things that you need for your website, you need a logo. You need a hero section, right? If you look at any website, you're going to have all of those things as part of your content requirements, if you will. So you see that they have these kind of laid out. You can see this one here. So they're both pretty good as far as the concepts of it. It doesn't really matter which one you pick. So for example, this one, I can tell it to remove the background. And what it'll do is instead of it having that white card background, it's removing that so that it's transparent. And so you can drop this onto any color background, and all you'll see is the logo. The white part of it will be gone. So even though last night I did a lesson and I included the Canva for editing logos and fixing text and things like this, I'm just going to go with this for now. So I've just downloaded that so it's available when I go into the website builder, which by the way is where we're going, and start working on that. So you can see multiple ones here, this one, you have this one. So you have different approaches to it, and you can just keep ideating, you keep adding colors, you can keep doing things over and over again until you're happy with it. So we've got a little logo. We know that we need a hero section, so we're going to use the same text that we created before. Entrepreneurs to expand their network organically and achieve blah, 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 blah. Now, this is a good description, right? But it doesn't really fit for telling it what we want to do, right? So again, we'll put in our business name, let's actually try it both ways, right? Let's do Reach and Rise. And so we'll do both. We're giving it a sort of description of the business. It's not good for developing an image, but I'm curious to see what it'll do. You can choose the emotion of it, right? Inspirational is usually, if you're building a new business, that's pretty much the one I choose a lot of times. Sometimes you could choose excitement, enthusiasm. It kind of allows the AI some guidance of what kind of image you want out of it. And so you can do just about anything. So you can do mixed feelings and put those into the image. You can do negative emotions, like if you have on your web page, will have negative images, meaning the pain points. You'll want to have those pain points in there. And that's where we're going to use the bullet points from the business brief to kind of put those emotions in there. And what I found with the hero images tool and the hyperrealistic is less text is usually more effective, including specifics. And so if you think about the prompting and the create method, you don't want to make it overly complicated because then it adds way too many things into you can decide on isolation. It tells you here what these things are. It's just whether the background is black, white, or a specific color. You can pick the shape. Almost always pick the 16:9 by 9 because that's the lengthwise for a hero image on a website. And then from there, you can tell it yes, no on all of these toggles. Again, great thing is you don't have to be a coder. You can just kind of come up here. So the target for this one is not family. It might be entrepreneurs. Let's see. Did I get it right? Sometimes my spelling, I tell you. Photography, style, image, modern, realistic, futuristic, minimalist. You can pick those and your colors, and let's tell it to go. Let's just see what it does. It's always fun to let the AI be the AI and just see what it kind of comes up with. Let me save this document. And Mona, business brief. We'll just call it that. And I'll save that so I can send it to her later on. So there's the business brief. So there's things that you can use in here. So for example, you could just say business consulting speaking, right? Give it that, give it some colors, and it'll probably come up with a pretty decent image. This is not a bad image, really. Reach and rise. So you got that emotion into it. It's not exactly what Ramona would want to go with, but I think that it gives you an example where you describe the emotion, you describe the general idea of what it's for, who the target audience is, and it comes up with an image. So again, really pretty cool. So that's the Rising Reach and Rise Consulting, right? So I'll give that one a 4 just because I like the imagery in it. And then we could tell it to go again and change maybe one or two things in it. You want to change the different things that you have in here. And so now we may do, let's grab this from here. And this would be actually, we can have it give us ideas. One of the things, right? You can take that same paragraph. Let's see, like business consulting and speaking, create image ideas. Let's just see what it comes up with. So it'll generate 20 ideas based on whatever you tell it to. You could give it the name of the company, for example, and tell it give you 20 ideas for images. You can give it a sentence like I just did. You can give it almost anything, and it'll come up with the different things. A business consulting service that empowers entrepreneurs, a satisfied business owner. So now it's telling you about the photo itself, right? And so you could say the business owner is black, right? I have a lot of people that say, well, you should put in African American. Don't worry, you can't offend the AI. Put in what you want. Black business owner, Asian business owner. So this, you could say diverse. You can say anything. Generally speaking, we've had this conversation in all of my trainings. You don't have to say Caucasian or white because that is the bias all AI tools have because that's who it was trained by. So you're going to automatically get most of the time a man, white. Especially if you say something like, give me a doctor, it'll be a white man. He'll usually have a beard for some reason. I don't know why. But my point is you can be descriptive about the look and feel of the individual in your photos so that you get exactly what you're looking for. Smiling while looking at a growing sales chart on a table. Sure, why not? Let's go ahead and run with that. Let's change one other element. So we can do an illustration. We can do modern. I like realistic because a lot of times that gives me the best result. But hey, we'll play around with this a little bit. Let's see what we get. So now I'm teaching you not only this specific tool, but all of the other tools because they're very similar in how to react to different prompts and the characteristics that kind of comes That's because the LLM behind the image creation, we use several, but they have tendencies, and actually all AI have certain tendencies when it comes to developing. What is fantastic about where we were a year ago to where we are today is a year ago, you had to, all of those switches that I had, you had to essentially specifically say all of the elements like the rays coming in from the right here, all of that you had to describe in your prompt. And with this platform, you don't have to do that anymore. So you'll get really good imagery professionally ready to put on your website, with emotion. And if I went in and described the colors, for example, I could get specific colors. So, for example, let's say I go down here and let's see, Ramona, let me bring you up on mic so I can just talk to you. I'm gonna hit on the allow to talk thing here. And let's see. And,
Hello.
hey, how's it going? Uh,
Everything's going great.
all righty. And so last week was the Annette show, and I'm gonna bring Annette back on too because great example of an entrepreneur building a business. But what I wanted to say here is, what is your colors that you like to use? I can pop them right.
Actually, my branding colors would be a combination of black. There is a gold color that you captured in the last picture, actually, in the background,
Okay.
and a purple. There's a
Okay.
deep, rich royal influencer, so it's a royal purple. And
Okay.
then there is an accent color, another accent color, I should say,
Okay.
which is kind of, it could be a cross between a fuchsia or magenta. Magenta is closer than fuchsia, but
And what's interesting is, and again, another little pro tip, if you have a brand and set of colors that you use in your brand, you can actually put in the hex codes or the RGB codes. If you don't know what that
awesome.
is, don't worry about it. But if you have a specific flavor of gold or specific flavor of purple that you use on your website, you can tell it the hex code and it'll follow that hex code, at
That
least
is
get close to
awesome.
it. So it makes it very easy for you to do. So now that we have that first prompt, we can go to another prompt idea. So we have that. We'll keep enthusiastic for now because I did a good job. We'll have the colors and we'll tell it to go. So again, you can play around with all of the different switches. You can play around with the colors. You can play around with the types of images that it's developing. And you can get 10 ideas because let's say you have a web page, you're probably going to have at least five different menu items, right? You got the home page, the about, serve, contact us, the actual product pages. So you may have five or six pages, and sure you're going to need different hero images for each one of those pages. So this is more focused in on a speaking engagement, right? So we would say instead of a business consulting and speaking service, we would say a Black female business consultant. All right. And then you would say something like speaking in front of a crowd. Right. Ooh, if I could spell, it would be wonderful. All right. Inspiring. So we'll do that. We'll kill that. And we'll put an inspiring corporate leaders. So we'll make it very specific of what we want. Again, going in and playing around with it. So this diverse crowd is not bad. As I said, if you're not specific on who the individual is in your photo, it will almost always be a white male. And I can't tell, he doesn't look like he has a beard, but it's very funny how they do that. But at least the crowd is diverse because I did specifically say, give me a diverse crowd. And so we can go back to realistic, we can go to futuristic. That's always fun. And you tell it to go. So we can change a couple of words in the prompt to get it closer to what we actually want. I'm trying to just give you all of the different examples. So once we have a couple of different concepts you laid out, this will be the last one we do in this particular tool. I want to get to see, look at that. That is fantastic. I love it. I don't know why they're sitting cross-legged on the floor. That's a little humorous. I'm not quite sure, but maybe this particular school, they only get chairs if you sit over here. These people here are just kind of hanging out on the floor. But this image right here is a fantastic image. I love that. I could actually take that, crop out. You can remove the background of the people and just use that image. I think that's really good. So, what do you think of that one, Ramona?
That one is amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I love the powerfulness of the
I
speaker
do.
section.
I do. That
Yeah,
that entire picture actually is awesome.
yeah, yeah.
With and without the crowd.
Yes, exactly. So we'll let the AI know that it did a pretty good job. So that's
Exactly.
the idea. You would go through the 20 ideas looking for different ways and being specific about who is in the photo and what the person in the photo is doing. And you just run through ideas, play with them until you get enough pictures to fill up all of the things on your website. That's the idea, right? So I put the colors down here, but it kind of ignored that. Let's put them up here. Uh, and put use colors. There we go. And I like that. All right, everything else is pretty good, so we'll tell it to go with that. So I'll put the colors up there and see if we get the AI to pay attention to the color scheme that I wanted it to pay attention to. I should have gone on to another prompt. Actually, I didn't specify in this one the business consulting service, so it's okay. Well, I just want to see if it applies to colors this time. Usually it's pretty good at paying attention to my color prompts. Let's just see what it does. No, no, it got the gold, it got the black, it got the white. But again, if you don't specify who is the person in the image, because there's nothing wrong with the image itself, but if you don't specify, it will always be a white guy with a beard. I don't know why, but it's hilarious to me. So we can put him on a page, somewhere on your website. He's happy. He's used the Ramona Rogers method, and he is super pumped up and excited. So, we help everybody in our.
Still not a bad photo.
No, it is not. It really isn't. And it did bring in the colors, which is good. So it brought in the black, the gold, it has the white. So it made some choices. It
I
picked
could
that.
still see using that in a landing
Oh,
two-pager
of
or
course,
something of
of
that nature.
course, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's not a bad photo. It's just if you want something specific in your mind, you have to tell it. That's all I'm pointing out. The other things that I wanted to point out as we went down the list here, also, you can do the same type of thing in hyperrealistic. You can tell it a little bit about your business. Same thing. This is a different tool, so it will lay it out in a different fashion, right? And so you can be just as descriptive, and you can give it your colors, black, gold, magenta. I'm missing one. What was the other one? Black, gold, magenta. I'm missing a color. You can pick the 16 by 9 and then you can tell it to go. This one really is going to take that image and just run with whatever you put in it. Same thing here. If I grab this and I go over to, let's see, the other popular content creation image creator is scroll stopping ads. You can kind of go here. You can say, email business consultant. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Speaker empower. Use color black, gold, and magenta. We'll do 16 by 9. So this is scroll stopping, and it's usually pretty crazy, but we'll tell it to kind of go. We'll get rid of these colors here, and we'll put them down at the bottom just to have a little bit more here. And I'll put them down here. And let's go here and tell it to go. So what I like about hyperrealistic, in the name, it tells you what you're going to get in some ways. So I told it I wanted professional, empowering entrepreneurs. That is a fantastic hero image. You could use that on any part of your website. It's not you, Ramona, but it is an
That is
excellent
amazing.
that is an excellent image for you to
It
build.
is.
So even though there's one that's specifically named hyperrealistic, because you can, as long as you use the shape and size of the photo, you can use any of the tools to create hyperrealistic. It is by far my favorite for creating images for websites. Scroll stopping is interesting in that it goes more for the emotion. It's not necessarily as realistic, if you will, but it gives you that emotion, you know? So in this case, it not only put one female, it gave you two females. But you definitely know these females are going to work and they're going to go make some serious cash, right? Just from the imagery that it created, it used your colors. So you have the black, the magenta, and the gold. So it did a really good job of bringing in the color schemes that we wanted it to bring in. So hopefully everyone is seeing how these tools kind of all work together to give you content that you can use. So, matter of fact, I got to start downloading these because I'm going to go to the website builder in just a second, and I want to just use these images for different parts of the exercise for today. Let's go here. Oh, by the way, there's three different formats for your pages. If you're specifically going to use them for a website, the WEBP is a good format because it's lighter but still looks really good. It makes your pages load faster because the images are more efficient. WEBP is the format you want to use. The secondary format, if your editor doesn't allow WEBP, use PNG. Both formats you can utilize. If you want to remove the background and post it, you definitely have to use PNG to be able to do that. Let's go into the funnel maker and website makers. So there's four of them here, and you can pick which one you like by playing with them and getting familiar with them. The newest is the AEO website creator. I think we talked about this last night or yesterday. It is the one that I would recommend that you start with. It's the latest one. It has the features functionality built into the website builder for getting your website found when people search for your particular product or service in a search engine like an AI search engine like Siri, if you do a voice search in Siri or where it connects to ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, Perplexity, it doesn't really matter. Once you start building the content into your website to have authority, then it will float up in those search engines. We're actually going to have a 4 hour boot camp on building a website because it does take a bit to build a website. So in the boot camp, we'll actually build it with you, and so you can kind of practice and learn as I go along. Let's start with that one, but I do want to show you some interesting features in the others. And they have more automation features. Those features are coming to the AEO website creator. Also, another really fun thing about the AEO builder is that it is easier to use. So that's why I always suggest my users start with that one. So we're just going to use our document again. We'll just start here. And what I need to do is to make my life easier, start using the power of editing. This is detailed product brief. Here we go. And so I'll make it a header and I'll make it easier to find. See, I can just click on that now and I'll get that. So anyway, we'll grab this and there we go. Control C and we'll drop that into the text here, Royal Incubator. And we'll go here and then we'll feed it that. And then you can fill in a business logo, contact email, phone number. We'll skip that for now. Actually, call to action. You can have sign up, schedule a call, etc. And so we'll go with schedule a call. You can pick a template that you want to use. It doesn't have a lot of templates in this particular section. And so for now, I'll pick that one just so we have an example of it running. Perfect. So it'll start actually creating the funnel. And that's the ultra fast sales funnels. Okay, so we have it here. So we got this. I'll grab
There
it.
you go.
Yep. So we'll see as it goes here. Let's see what happens. So essentially what it's doing is it's reading the document that we fed to it. It is creating the hero image. It's creating a variety of images. It's looking at the data and trying to come up with a convincing sales funnel so that when you start at the top and by the time you get to the bottom, you're interested in scheduling that call. It understands how to create a good sales funnel and it's just creating it. Now, the images that it's going to throw in there are just placeholders, which is why we went into the content creators and started grabbing and creating images so we can replace those. But the layout of the website, the actual coding and everything for that funnel so that it's fast, so that it does a really good job of laying out the key concepts, the story arc on the page, all of that is what it's doing in the background there. Now, of course, I'm also running two different LLMs at the same time. Let me go bounce out here to a different user. And let's see, what were we trying to do? AI videos. Let's grab that. We'll tell it we want to use sales. We'll tell it to then do English. We're going to do Adam. No, we're not going to do Adam. He's everywhere. And oh, pro tip, turn the music down when you add the music because it's usually loud. And then you can pick whatever music, upload your own music. I think we talked about that on the last one. I'm going to make this landscape.
Unlock excellence and redefine success with the Royal Empowerment Group, also known as Royalty Group Inc., led by Ramona Rogers. A seasoned entrepreneur with 22 years of corporate experience, we offer coaching, mentorship, keynote speaking, and business consulting. Harness our resources, including the book How to Put Power in Empowerment and a free guide to creating impactful biographies. Tune into the Queenovation podcast for inspiration and empowerment. Join our Royal Influencer community to become an impactful speaker and branded influencer. Visit our website today to start your journey towards greatness.
You would, like, say, I wanted to upload.
Instead of the royalty group, it would be Royal Influencers Organization.
Exactly. Hold on. So we'll grab this one.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, we'll grab that one. And then we have, so you said it would be Royal Influence.
Instead of royalty group towards the end,
Uh-huh.
it would be Royal Influencers Organization.
Okay.
And you could take out the ink part. The
Okay.
ink at the very end. There you
No
go.
worries. And then this one, is that spelled correctly?
Yes, that is spelled correctly. But they took the power part
Mm-hmm.
that's capitalized. That is how I actually wrote the title of the book. So they
Okay.
took that from the title of the book because I
Right.
did that. That's like an acronym in the book,
Yeah.
which is why it's capitalized. So that can stay or it doesn't matter. It could stay or
No, no, it's fine. And then led by Ramona Rogers, obviously we would need a picture of you. Let's go back over here. And so we could, let's see, hold on.
okay.
Little high-tech thievery, or I should say low-tech thievery. All right, so now we would grab that and we'd go back here. I just did a little screen grab. So we'd
Okay.
go back to this particular photo, which we know is not a good one. And
Okay.
so we go to, where did I just throw that? There we go. Drop that right there, replace it. And what's nice is right now it's just 30 seconds of text,
Right.
but you can write as much as you want. And as much as you write, that's what the AI will say, that kind
Right.
of thing. So
Yeah,
that
that sentence is good.
those are the first two images. And so tune into the Queen Ovation podcast, right? So we would take something like that and we'd go over here and that particular one is still running. And let's see, let's go find something exciting. So we'll
Okay.
put a web page together here. We'll grab
Okay.
that one. That's actually decent for our purposes
Yeah,
here.
sure is.
And I will upload new media and we will go to download. So this is why I say go to
Awesome.
the other tools, create your images, and then
Right.
bring them into what it is you're trying to do. So
Exactly.
visit our website today to Make your call to action, schedule. Oops, SCHEO, a call with Ramona
Uh-huh.
and get started on your journey towards greatness. So you could put whatever you want, and that is what it's going to
I
read.
love that.
And it's so easy to edit this way. There's lots of different ways to edit videos. This by this by far is the simplest.
Wow.
I showed you the Descript method the other day.
Okay.
That's more
Mhm.
powerful, but this is
Okay.
by far the easiest to get
Amazing.
something done relatively quickly. So, by the way, yeah, this is what it grabbed off of your
Ah,
page.
gotcha.
Another way to do this with the text is go into the AI Sales Manager or the Ask Ramona app and have
Okay.
it generate a script for a video on this topic and
Awesome.
paste it in there so that it
Okay.
has real meat behind the video, not just fluff. One of the
Awesome.
things that it is missing is your risk aversion statement, and I'll add that in a second.
Okay.
Led by Ramona Rogers, tune into the Boston join the community. And you can expect the results in 7 to 10 days. You can expect to see results in 7 to 10 days.
I'll continue working with them until they do.
Okay. You make it personal.
Okay.
And you can put emojis in there. You can put all
Okay.
kinds of stuff. But
Wow.
the point is, you want to just have something in there about that.
Right.
And then it's interesting because this photo, it picked it because of the speaking, it picked it because of the
Exactly.
networking. So it does a good job of picking images that
It
fit,
does.
especially when you're very specific about it. And so that's a good
Okay.
start. And so we'll rerun that. It tells
Okay.
you how much it's going to cost from a coins point of view to generate. And I think I showed on the call yesterday that you can top off 1,000 credits
Oh, okay.
for $6.99. So it's not
Oh, not
ridiculously
bad.
expensive and
Not
it's
at
really
all.
good. So that's running. And let's see, our funnel is not created yet. And we have our image there. So it's doing a really good job.
Oh.
And so we'll go back here and we'll tell
So
this.
this isn't a landing page. This is an actual funnel.
This one is a fun, well, again, it's not your homepage, correct.
Gotcha.
And so I just canceled that one because it's definitely just spinning. Let's see if we
Okay.
do a new website. One of the things I liked about it is it had more templates for you to play and work
Mhm.
from. So you could preview the template, see
Right.
what it kind of looked like, if it fit your style.
Exactly.
So this one
Mhm.
has a big black style header. This one has a white header.
Right.
So it's just the style, if you will, the color
Exactly.
scheme, you will change as you develop your website. You're looking more for the layout features
Gotcha.
of the
That was good.
website than anything else. If you're
Right.
going to use it to build from, that kind of thing. So you could just figure this out as you worked, what makes the most sense. So let's say
Right.
we chose this one. You could
Okay.
say create and it'll start taking that. It's just creating a generic
Gotcha.
version of it, the kind of thing.
Then you can go in and do your editing.
Exactly. So now
Okay.
that that's there, you would have a page, and then you'd have the ability to just click into it to edit. And so you would take this photo and you would just take it out. So, like I said, the reason why I like the new one is this
Right.
editor is a little archaic and a little complicated. It's harder to understand how to
Gotcha.
edit it. So that's why I
Okay.
said I wouldn't necessarily recommend anybody start with that. I would
Okay.
say this one offers the best choice, but here's something fun that this one does allow. Let's
Okay.
go back here, build smart websites. Let's see, new website. And you can create as many versions of websites as you want. So let's try to import from your website. I'm curious to see if this one will work.
Okay.
And the other thing should be done by now. Confirm that this is my page. Not that ever stops anybody from stealing pages.
Exactly.
I like that honesty thing. So here you got Royal Influencers. Here's the new one.
Okay.
Unlock excellence and redefine success with the Royal Empowerment Group,
So you see it changed our first image.
Yes.
also known as Royal Influencers Organization. Led by Ramona Rogers, a seasoned entrepreneur with 22 years of corporate experience, we offer coaching, mentorship, keynote speaking, and business consulting. Harness our resources, including the book How to Put Power in Empowerment and a free guide to creating impactful biographies. Tune into the
Okay.
Queenovation podcast for inspiration and empowerment. Join our Royal Influencer community to become an impactful speaker and branded influencer. You can expect to see results in 7 to 10 days, and Ramona will work with you until you do. Visit our website today to schedule a call with Ramona and get started on your journey towards greatness.
It would be
Blue,
the
purple.
purple.
Yeah. So you would go whatever color
Cool.
you want, and that's it. Super easy.
Cool, cool, cool.
And that's all
Yes.
you would do.
Amazing.
So that's an idea. You can go in there and build that out very easily. Okay,
Awesome.
so where were we going? Oh, websites. See, Royal Influencers too. Oh,
Okay.
looking good so far. We
Oh,
kind of got a
wow.
little,
Yeah.
see a little Royal logo
Okay.
there. Uh-oh,
Exactly.
no, it kind of did not
Oh,
quite get it. It just got half of it. That's
exactly.
interesting. So
Yeah, it is
it
interesting.
it
It's
got
the
it,
sizing. It looks
it's
like the sizing.
it's mobile. It's literally the mobile.
Oh,
It
yeah.
grabbed the mobile version of your, because
Exactly.
every website has different versions of
Yeah,
the
you're
website.
right.
And so
Right.
what it did is it grabbed, but it got some of
Yeah.
it. It just
Yeah, it
is
did.
it's one of those weird things where
Wow.
let's see something. Let me go back here. Let's close this. So it's really fun to have this thing play around with
Exactly.
trying to
So,
grab your website.
oh, okay. So see the sections over here? It has
Mhm.
sections on the right-hand side.
Yep.
I'm thinking it's either the layers or the sections.
It's interesting. When I go in to edit it, it is not showing me. It might still be loading, so that's another thing too.
Oh,
But
right, right.
I would suspect that it's just having trouble getting access to the landscape or
Oh,
desktop
gotcha.
version of the site. So when you
Gotcha.
are working on your site, you can
Uh-huh.
actually edit it. And so we'll jump over to the other editor. Oh, there we go.
Begin the A/B test. That is
Yeah,
awesome.
yes, because this is a sales
Nope.
funnel as
You're right.
well. So
Built
you
in.
can, for
Oh,
everyone,
wow.
you can create a copy of your original page and
Wow.
have it go out and do that. So that's interesting. It tried to grab it, but it really didn't get all of the
Gotcha.
elements properly. So as I said, this is the older editor, and
Okay.
it's just, I want you to be aware that it can do it, and
Okay.
sometimes it works, sometimes
Right.
not so well. All
Right.
right, so let's go into the new
Awesome.
one. And so if I go into the AEO website builder, you only really have a choice to create it manually. So that's the first difference. And eventually we will have more automation
Okay.
features in it.
Right.
And so we'll call it, we'll just, this is an internal name. It's not something
Gotcha.
that customers will
Right.
see.
Okay.
All right, there we go. Spelling is important. Same thing, you can choose a template
Okay.
or you can build it from scratch. Same thing. So you have the ability, even though it's a manual process, you
Right.
can start from
Exactly.
a funnel design that
Okay.
fits the thing that you like. So you can pick one. We don't have one quite with purple in it.
Right.
But this one here, well, let's do this one here.
Okay.
So first, let me do two things. I'm trying to think which is easier. If I select a template, it'll
Mhm.
still go in and kind of lay out that particular template, and then you can quickly go in and edit it.
Exactly.
So I'll show you that first, and then I'll show you, if not today, tomorrow, because it's already 2:16. So obviously we've gone way over time.
Oh,
So
okay.
tomorrow, what I'll do is I'll show you building it from scratch within
Gotcha.
this particular tunnel. So this is the
Okay.
website. This is one we built during the 4-hour class on a Saturday.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so this kind of is the layout and
Right.
features all kind of laid out in one. And this is available when you log in under shared. So it's in the
Okay.
template that you just saw. So you can grab it and then you can come in and edit anything. So for example, if you're going to edit page, you can go in and just replace your logo. As I said, this one
Okay.
is just easier to understand.
Right.
So if I want to replace this image up here with a different logo, I can upload a logo very easily. That's not a logo. There we go. This is one we can use. Let's see. Did I put it in downloads? I'm trying to remember where I put that other the
Mhm.
WEP, the WEBP. Oh, so maybe I didn't do it in a, oh, let's
Okay.
just grab it. It was a PNG. That's right.
Right.
So it
Okay.
was a PNG. So once you get it,
Uh-huh.
another weird thing of all of the editors is to get it into the page,
Okay.
you can just double click on it and it'll drop it in there. So you can see
Okay.
that it's here, but you can't
Gotcha.
see it as well.
Exactly.
So, and the reason why is it's the one without the background. So if
Right.
I
It's
did the one,
transparent.
yes, if I did the one with the background, and then
Hmm.
the other thing you can do is under miscellaneous, it has more features and functions that you can do as far as
Okay.
shadows and visibilities and things
Okay.
like that. I'm not going to play with any of that right now.
Right. Right.
But you can make it become visible by making the background less opaque, or you can put a square behind it. Or
Right.
in the case of what we just did, you can download the video, the actual image from the logo maker with the background so that it
Ah.
has the white
Gotcha.
background. So if we downloaded this one, it should be a full background, which we can upload.
Right.
So this is a lot of editing that we're getting ahead of ourselves. So this
No
tomorrow,
worries.
we'll
Okay.
pick up where we left off.
Okay.
And thank you for sharing again.
Absolutely.
And everybody, I really hope that you kind of got the flow of starting with that business brief, going to creating your avatar, going through the exercise of getting that content that'll let you get really good photos and images that you can use on your website. And then we'll continue the website building exercise as well. All right, everyone. Thank you. Bye bye.